All right, guys, here we are live. Welcome to the channel.
It's good to be here, man. Good to be here.
Thank you.
Yes, I really appreciate you having the time to talk to me here. You guys are certainly one of my favorite thrash bands or metal bands at all. And I appreciate you taking the time to talk to me here. I think first, probably the best thing is if you just kind of introduce yourselves to the world out there and let me know what you do in the band.
Well, hello world. My name is Dylan Westendorp. I play the drums and I sing occasionally.
My name is Brendan. I play guitar.
I'm Torian Shadlish, and I also play guitar.
My name's Dave Sprague. I play the bass.
Nice, cool. Well, just for any of you who didn't bother to read the title to my video out there, this is Hazzerd, and they are rocking out of where are you guys at in Canada exactly?
Calgary, Alberta.
Calgary, Alberta. Nice.
Out
So a couple of things I wanted to mainly talk to you guys about here. First of all, I think I read that you are celebrating your kind of 10-year anniversary as a band here within the last couple of days. So very cool there.
Yeah, man. Me and Brendan 10 years ago on the 24th got together and started writing BTK. It was our first song we ever wrote.
Nice.
But yeah, no, 10 years of making thrash metal, and should probably have more albums by now. But like, other than that, I think 10 years of some solid brotherhood, solid music, and some beer and along the way. And I think that another 10 years isn't too much to say, in my opinion.
Well, so how did you guys get together? Like, how did you all find each other to begin with?
Well, I found Brendan on a local classified site here in Calgary called Kijiji. And honestly, the only reason I replied to him or sent him a message or whatever was because he had Megadeth's Rust in Peace as the logo or whatever. He's like a 19-year-old guitar player looking for thrash metal drummer. And like, I was 17 at the time, and I was like, oh shit, he's 19. He's not going to want to jam with me. So like, that was a little worrisome there. But the way we found Tori was, I think, the same. It was the same way.
Same,
right?
yeah,
Same
same
way.
site. Yeah, they were looking for a new guitar player after the first guy
Yeah,
quit.
to carry left. Yeah.
Yeah. And then I found them, and actually I was 17 at the time, and they were all a little bit older than me. But I messaged them. I was like, hey, I'm 17. I want to join your band. I know that you guys are like playing bars and stuff, because they're all like 20, 21 at this point.
19. I was 19.
Yeah.
Brendan was 21.
Yeah. So yeah, they've been playing in bars, but I was like, hey, I turn 18 in like 3 months. Like, you guys like cool to like let me jam and maybe try out, and whatever, if I get in, then that's enough time to learn the set. And yeah.
Honestly, he
worked out.
showed this fucking guy. Sorry, can I swear? Is that okay?
Yeah,
I don't
that's
know if I
fine.
can swear or not. So like, if this guy shows up, and shit you not, he has shorter hair than Brendan right now, and he's standing there and he's like, he's got his pink guitar and he's like, hey, I'm Torian, and we're like, all right. I look at Brendan, I'm like, nah. We get downstairs and he plugs his guitar in, and I'm still sitting there kind of like, shit, man, this isn't the guy. And then he starts playing, and I'm like, all right.
That sounds like the
yeah,
perfect
They were playing
scene when
Anthrax
they
by
make a
Madhouse.
movie about
What
when
was
they
that,
make a
sorry?
movie about the band. That's going to be like a perfect scene to stick in there, right?
Exactly, yeah.
Oh yeah, it
Yeah.
would fit right in with scenes from The Dirt and
All that type of shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the way
So-
we met Dave, Dave played in a local band called Southbound Crow. They're more like rock and roll. Tori actually went to, it's kind of like a Cliff Burton situation. He went to his shows for 6 months straight and was like, yo, you need to come to my band. Like, get into my band. And
I was hesitant to joining another band, taking on the responsibility of being in two groups, but no, he wore me down eventually, and then I went and jammed with them, and it just clicked, and it felt good, and I was excited about it, and I was thrilled to be a part of it, and still am.
Dave, what were the words that I said to the other guys while we were jamming?
Oh yeah, I think we played a couple songs together, and I went upstairs to use the bathroom, and apparently he confided in these two, saying, man, this guy's really tingling my berries. You gotta tingle the berries sometimes. That's how you get your way in
That-
this world.
That's what makes good rock and roll.
Yeah.
Exactly, that's what I said, man.
So always
Tinkling
gotta
the
be
berries.
gotta be a few berries tingle.
So
Yeah, but that's
I mean,
basically,
And here we are now.
yeah. Well, that was in
Nice.
20, Dave joined in 2017.
That was 6 years ago.
Tori joined in 2015, and then yeah, me and Brennan started in 2012. We joined in 2012.
So what were you guys all listening to at the time? Like, what were your inspirations? What drove you to get into it?
Well, I mean, I grew up always loving Metallica and Megadeth and like classic metal bands. And I obviously they poached me from a band who was doing more kind of hard rock. We had a unique sound, but it was generally just kind of hard rock. We didn't really step into the metal realm. But I was always a metalhead, and I always loved metal and fucking Iron Maiden, you know, Priest, Megadeth, Metallica, like I said, all the good thrash shit. So when I linked up with these guys, like, you know, we just connected on those mutual loves of those bands, and showed each other new bands in a way too, and like kind of integrated styles. So and yeah. That's it.
Yeah.
He tried to like start he like came to jam one day and he was like, yo guys, do you know this ABBA song? And we were almost like, yo, get the fuck out.
Well, me?
That sounds like something I would say.
That does sound like something Tori would say. For me, when I linked up with Brendan, especially, I was like the most metal elitist kid, 17-year-old you'll ever meet. It's like, oh, if you don't listen to anything other than metal, you're this and you're that. And it's like, it makes me cringe thinking about it. But at the time,
We were all kids once.
yeah, we were all 17-year-old idiots at one point. Anyways, at the time I was listening to Megadeth, a lot of Megadeth, Slayer, Havoc, Heathen. I was listening to a band called Tantara out of Norway. They're not really together anymore, but Based on Evil, if you haven't heard that album, one of the best thrash metal albums I've ever heard in my life. So I'd highly recommend that one. Other than that, I was listening to a lot of Skid Row and more of the like 90s, late 80s heavy metal, Skid Row, Steel Heart and stuff like that.
Yeah, well, I've been listening to when I like before I joined Hazzerd, I was listening to like a lot of hair metal, but I like kind of started out like when I first started playing like a lot of like classic rock, and then kind of got into like hair metal and a little bit of thrash metal. And then when I joined Hazzerd, like when I reached out to them, I was trying to think of the thrash bands I was listening to at the time, and I was listening to probably a lot of like Testament and like Megadeth and stuff. And then I listened to like a lot of like neoclassical metal too, like
You were super into Jason Becker when you joined.
Jason Becker's
Oh,
one
yeah.
I listen to a lot now, and like Cacophony, and I kind of like was introduced to like those kinds of guitar players through like Megadeth, like Rust in Peace with like Marty Friedman and stuff like that.
Marty Friedman, yeah, that was one of the requirements on the ad, is you had to play like Marty Friedman to join the band.
They one of the first, there's 3 songs you guys asked me to learn to join. It was Madhouse by Anthrax, Hangar 18 by Megadeth, and I don't remember what the other one was. It was either The Trooper by Iron Maiden or Master of Puppets, but I can't remember.
I think it was the Trooper.
Yeah, probably.
That would make sense.
Do you remember? I think it was the Trooper. I want to say the Trooper.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's I guess that's kind of what I've been. That's what I was kind of listening to like when we first met, I guess. Yeah, and then it's kind of branched out into a lot of like newer bands and stuff now too as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brendan and Dylan always kind of listen to the same stuff, right? You guys kind of connected
Yeah.
well on that.
At the time when I decided I wanted to play in a band, it was only a few months after I first started listening to Metallica and Megadeth. Before that, I was probably listening to like Green Day and stuff like that.
You're super into Muse too, right?
Oh yeah, and
Huge into
Muse.
Muse. I
Oh,
remember
yeah.
that. That's one thing that Brendan brought, is I remember being like super weirded out by his riffs, because I hadn't heard stuff like that before. Because the band I was playing with before, like, great guys, love them to death, but the musicianship just wasn't like on a par as like what me and Brendan started to do in 2012. So when he brought these riffs to the table, I was kind of like, at first, the first jam we had, and I was like, what the fuck is going on here? He's doing these weird riffs, these tails and shit. Why can't you just play it like chug, 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 riff, chug? But then I got accustomed to it, and yeah, no, like he brought, I think his muse inspiration definitely brought a lot to the table, in my opinion.
Kind of, yeah.
Oh
It's
yeah.
kind of shaped the way the band sounds these days.
He actually introduced me to Muse, and I was like, I didn't know who the hell they were, and apparently they're a multi-million seller out band. I'm like, okay, sure, rad.
That's definitely a good band to make a unique writing style.
Yeah,
for
they're-
metalhead.
They're
Like,
cool.
yeah, you gotta, like we've definitely matured. As far as
17-year-old me wouldn't have
what
said
we
that.
allow
that's for sure.
ourselves and each other to listen to. We're not. The rules are pretty loose. There shouldn't be rules.
No, there
Yeah,
shouldn't
we
be.
try not to like lock ourselves
There's
into
no
like
rules
one
in music.
genre.
I do remember trying to be a little Dave Mustaine though, and be like, you got to wear high tops, tight jeans, and long hair. I still abide by those like aesthetic rules, but the rest of the guys are like, fuck you, I'll wear what I want.
We generally have a uniform.
There's
but-
kind of a look that we all kind of aim for
Yeah.
like live shows and stuff that we kind of evolved into.
We don't
Maybe because of you, I don't know.
definitely don't have
yeah.
like an outfit sort of say, but like the shit you find us in the wearing in the streets is the shit you're gonna see us up on stage in.
We kind of look like we.
Other than
yeah,
Torian's
yeah.
white pants,
Yeah.
those are a completely different story.
Hey, you gotta wear ridiculous stuff on stage sometimes.
I guess so.
It doesn't hurt to look good sometimes.
You know what? I was thinking about fucking wearing Gene Simmons platform boots one day. I thought my knees would be like way up to here. I'd be fucked.
That would be pretty impressive.
I think that takes some practice to get around and stuff like that.
Yeah, I'd say, yeah.
I don't know if that
dude,
is thrash ready wear.
No, it's definitely not. I would like throw it into the crowd and see what would happen.
Yeah.
Well, I wanted to talk, you're talking about musicianship and things like that. And one of the things that really struck me right at the opening of Delirium, right at the start of the album, it like starts out with this great, I don't know, maybe musically not something that I would expect from most thrash bands, but it's like very technically cool guitar. I know that's a very technical term to use, technically cool, but and I hear that throughout the album. Is that something, because that's certainly not inspired by traditional just like Slayer type of thrash, but maybe more Megadeth in some of their stuff.
Yeah. I'd say that, yeah.
Yeah, we like to make our riffs like kind of complex and stuff, and not like easy to play, and not like I don't know.
Makes them somewhat impressive.
Like,
yeah.
It kind of adds to our sound, I think, making it kind of more
We don't-
intricate sounding.
Yeah, a lot of, some people generalize thrash as just, it's all about speed and just putting chords together fast, but we like to add more melodic elements and make it more technical. And yeah, that all comes from Tori and Brendan's soloing ability, man. That it was a riff that was really a lick, but it was the opening riff of the album. And yeah, a lot of people dug that, how it just hits right out of the gate.
Sonically, yes.
Very, very rhythmic kind of lead
Exactly.
playing almost. Yeah.
Sonically, it's like gives you that grand feel that you're walking into like this hall almost, right? Where it starts like it's like you're opening these big ass doors and you're about to die by these crazy fucking people that are gonna sacrifice to you for their god or whatever. That's the vibe I got from it, and that's like I remember these two making it, and I was like, yeah, that's got to be that has to be the intro to that song, because that, like I said, that really brings home the aspect of like grandness, in my opinion.
Mhm.
Well, I think within thrash, even, I mean, of course, within the bigger world of rock and metal, there are so many like nuances and things, but even within thrash, there are so many different sounds you can get. I've talked to bands, I've listened to albums this year, and they're just so different. I mean, you always are going to have that little group that kind of sounds all like the same, but I don't know, when you tell people that you're playing thrash, are they kind of just like, oh, I know exactly what to expect, and then you kind of change their mind a little bit?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
so. Yeah.
Some people, yeah, because some people that still have the former mindset of our younger selves, we tell them we're thrash, and then they listen to it, like especially Delirium, because Delirium was a little more progressive, right? They just go, "This isn't thrash. What are you?
This is
talking
rock
about?"
and roll, man.
Like,
You
I
remember
don't know what this is, but it's not fast enough.
This isn't thrash. This is light rock.
I don't know. Yeah, you know, we put our own spin on it, and it comes out the way it comes out.
That was the best comment I've ever read. Light rock, I die.
Light rock.
That's, yeah. Light rock.
Frick, I'd love to hear the hard rock that guy's listening to.
Yeah, no shit. But no, when we tell people, especially I remember when we played with a band out of Chicago called Starkill in 2017. We get there and we're talking to the guys, and they're nice dudes for the most part, but they're kind of like standoffish at first, right? They're like, you know, whatever, we're the touring band type of thing.
And then we were thrash.
Yeah, and then they knew we were thrash, and we're like, yeah, we're a thrash metal band. They're like, oh, great, just 3-minute punk songs sped up. And then after the show, they were like, honestly, they were way more engaging. They were more
fans.
Friendly. Yeah, they were fans pretty much. So like we get that a lot where it's like, oh yeah, we're thrash metal. They're like, oh, fuck, here we go. And then I think we completely changed their minds on the world of thrash, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, you're wearing a Rush shirt, so I don't know if that's just like a shout out to your home nation,
love
or
Rush,
whether that's
yeah.
like, yeah,
That's his lineage.
Yeah, that's
He grew up on that.
Yeah, Rush is, my dad is a huge Rush fan, so like naturally I gravitated towards Rush. But I remember being in my 17-year-old metal elitist stage, of course, and being like, just to piss my dad off. I never thought this. I'd always be like, Rush sucks. Rush sucks. And he'd be like, you shut your whore mouth.
You respect your elders.
But obviously, I'm just kidding. Rush is one of the greatest bands to ever bless music, in my opinion. And Neil Peart, may he rest in peace, is definitely an idol for me. God, I can't even play one of his songs, but still, I love listening to the guy play.
Hell of a drummer.
that's very cool. It's weird. I was actually listening to Rush earlier today when I was doing stuff around the house. So very,
That's awesome.
very cool.
Yeah, we were listening to Rush last night too, having a couple beers. What the hell were we listening to? Anthem or something. Yeah, we were
in
like
the mood.
in the mood. Yeah,
Early Rush.
Yeah, early Rush.
74.
But it had Neil playing on the kit behind them, so it was like fucking sped up and just ridiculous.
It was there.
Well, I want to ask like one more influence kind of question before we get into the anything else I'm going to ask. Is there something that you're listening to right now, like a new album or something? So for me, like I don't know if you've heard of the band Red Shark. They're a thrash band out of Spain. I just interviewed them actually like a week ago, and that was like a really cool. Their sound is more like, I don't know, Judas Priest influenced thrash, if that's like something. Yeah, and so like I love that one, and I love the new Exodus album. Those are kind of what, you know, they're really in my head right now. Anything that's like caught you guys up lately?
I just played with a band in Chicago last week with my other band Traveler, and there was this band that opened up for us called Idle Throne, and they really impressed me, and they were like a really cool, like kind of another like kind of modern thrash band that kind of has like a different spin on you know, like what is traditionally thought of as like thrash. They have like really intricate like guitar parts and stuff, and I bought one of their CDs as well, because they were like really good, and I've been listening to that quite a bit recently actually.
Nice. Yeah. That sounds interesting. We should check those guys out.
We should.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Well,
For me, lately for me, I haven't really been listening to anything new. I've actually just kind of got back into like listening to music heavily, really, to be honest with you. But one thing that I started to do was like kind of like fall back in love with early Metallica, if that makes any sense. Like, because there was obviously when I first started, Metallica was everything, and they were the biggest influence to ever influence me. And then I grew out of it, and I was like, started to kind of be like, oh, Metallica's all right. They're all right. And
There's more out there.
there's more out there, but you know, recently, like the last month and a half, 2 months, I've dug into Metallica's discography like no tomorrow, and like I enjoy every single album they put out. Even Saint Anger has enjoyable moments other than that god awful snare drum, but other than that, yeah, Metallica, and especially Injustice for All, I really think this next album, like Hazzard's next album, the drums on Injustice for All are going to be something that I take influence for the drums on the next album. I think so.
Nice. Well, not to like jump ahead here, but I definitely want to talk about the next album. I'm excited that you guys are working on one. It's been what, 2020 was Delirium? Does that sound about right? Yeah.
Right.
So,
It's been 2
what's,
years of
yeah,
heartache.
what's going into the new album here? Well, you guys have had a little bit of time to plan and work on this. How's the process going? What's working into this one?
Well, for honestly, since the pandemic started, man, we were like really feeling the vibe of Delirium and everybody, how everybody really received it not really well, and we were super stoked on that. And then of course, COVID hit and we got screwed out of tour of this and tours of that and everything in between, of course. So, we started to work on album 3 because we decided we are going to come back after this mess and release some new music. So this album has been in the works since literally, I think the first demo we have is like April 2020 for this
Wow.
new record. So it's been 2.5 years of just working on 9 to 10 songs.
Yeah.
And so that I really think that'll show as well, like quantity over or quality over quantity, in my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we really did a pretty good job this time around at fine tuning a lot of the songs a little better than what we ended up going into the studio with for Delirium. Not that we're not proud of that, but this time around we just we kind of took note of things that we weren't happy with, that some of our close friends weren't happy with Delirium, and just took that into mind and wrote what we wrote. And I think we got some pretty kick-ass material, and we're really stoked to record it and get it out.
I think the songs are a lot more to the point than Delirium.
That's true too. Yeah, we definitely a couple tunes we tried to go a lot more back to basics kind of sound as far as just our thrash roots too.
Yeah, we got asked a question on the Instagram the other day, is like what they could expect, like influence wise, and again, with the risk of sounding cheesy, we kind of used ourselves, like Misleading Evil and Victimize the Innocent era Hazzerd for influence for this new record. I think
there's also like some very different sounding stuff on this album though too. So it's not entirely like back to basics. I think there's a lot where we're doing like something totally different.
No, yeah, it's a good blend of that the whole back to basics kind of thing, and kind of expanding on the interesting avenues that we did go down on the last album, because there's
definitely going to be surprises on this third album, but I don't like Delirium had a lot of in-depth songwriting where it was like, okay, this riff is super cool, let's put it here. Oh, but that's kind of, that chunks up the song a little bit. Oh, who cares? It's a sick riff, put it there. And that mindset isn't as much so on this new album, if that makes sense.
We're also going about recording this album like way differently than we did like all the previous releases. Like with all the other releases, we kind of
we crammed everything into a week.
We've done everything the same way for every release. So this way we're kind of doing it a little bit more DIY with some of the some aspects of the recording. We're still gonna go to like the same studio to like record drums and stuff, but we're actually gonna try doing like all the guitars and stuff on our own this time, and just like really take our time and just really fine tune the new album and stuff.
Exactly. And like the reason for that is like we record at MCC here in Calgary, and that's like literally the best professional studio in the city. So, and we're not millionaires, right? So like it's honestly down to money and quality at the end of the day, is because like Tori said, we used to go for Delirium and Misleading Evil and even Victimize the Innocent in a way. We all went in, and 5 days, 10-hour days, we got as much done as humanly possible, and we couldn't spare a second because our time is money in that situation, right? And that puts a lot of pressure on like me, Tori, Brennan, and Dave, everybody.
We're just trying to do it a little bit more organically and just kind of a little bit more relaxed, where we can just get more organic, performances out of everyone, instead of putting the heat under us to try and get it all done in a couple of goes.
So with that being said, like the third album is going to take a little bit of time with us doing it this way, but like I think that's going to show with the quality of the final product.
I think so.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be worth it.
Do you have any idea when you expect it to come out?
Well, we were hoping spring 2023, if not summer 2023. Kind of want to get it out so we can start the festival type of thing.
Yeah.
And play to those types of crowds, because that's always fun. ish.
So how does it usually start with like a riff, or do you work from lyrics? Like how did the writing come about?
Pretty much riff based.
Yeah,
Riff
and most times, yeah,
As-
it's
As much thrash and other subgenres of metal are based. Yeah, we focus on impressive quality guitar work and work from there.
I think this new album definitely brings like more melody. I think it brings the aggressiveness of Delirium and the melody of Misleading Evil together. That's
Yeah.
my best way to put the sound, the
but yeah,
general sound, because the first song we started writing was one Brendan brought, and it's more melodic but energetic. It's like jumpy, but it's melodic, and the vocal lines are more melodic and shit like that. And I'm not talking like clean singing. I'm just a little more melodic.
Yeah.
But yeah, we normally like work off the guitars. Normally someone will bring a riff in, and then yeah, we'll kind of go from there. Someone will maybe change something, or go from there. Normally the drums kind of will help shape the guitars as well.
Yeah, the drums really aren't written until I start recording them, in my opinion. Like I still don't have a solid drum part for one of the more intricate songs, because we're actually doing scratch tracks right now, and that's what I'm getting ready for, is to start practicing and solidifying drum parts for everything as well.
Yeah.
Are you gonna have some more zombies or something like that on the album cover? Have you thought about that at all?
No zombies on this album cover, man, but
Still has the one kind of messed up looking guy on the
Yeah,
front,
it
like
still
the
has our
other two,
mascot.
as the same guy on it, but it's it's a little bit different from the other ones. We've actually got the artwork done for
it's
the
all
new
done.
album. It's all been made up and stuff. Same artist and
Same artist, yeah.
It's very different looking from the other two albums. I'd
yeah,
say.
it's a
Yeah.
lot more
It's got the
vibrant.
same. It's got the same like vibe though.
Yeah, it's like you see it and you're like, okay, this is a thrash album, but like where Delirium was like a dark palette, you know what I mean? This one's like vibrant. So if you're walking by it on a record store, like eyes right to it, you know what I mean?
That's the idea.
People are
yeah.
drawn to bright
Yeah.
colors. It catches your
Good
attention.
artwork helps.
And
yeah.
honestly, the artwork plays into the concept. I'm going to use that word lightly, concept of the album. And I really like what Andre did to encapsulate the feeling of what we were going for. Because I really like I really like the narrative we did for the record, and like it's, in my opinion, it's pretty clever, and I really think people will like it. And if they don't, it'll be kind of sad.
Well, just a quick note for you guys. Are you familiar with the Metalhead box subscription service?
We are.
We are, yes,
that's,
yes.
They
So-
actually did a lot for us with when we released Misleading Evil. They were giving out a lot of our CDs actually in the
Yeah,
Metalhead
they
box, so that helped us gain a lot of new fans actually.
Yeah, they're really good people. They helped.
Yeah.
They helped.
They're
the
they're
foundation
from
of
up your
it.
way somewhere, right? Aren't they? They're
They're
Canada based.
from Toronto, I believe.
I think so, yeah.
Somewhere in Toronto, Mississauga, even maybe. I'm not sure.
Okay.
Somewhere in Ontario.
Well, that's how I actually first heard of you guys, was through the Metalhead box, and I was like, wow, that's really cool. So I guess good on them for putting the right stuff in those boxes.
Yeah, they're.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
remember watching like when Misleading Evil came out, and they put them in the boxes back then. I remember scouring YouTube for unboxings just to see people hold our album in their hands and stuff. It was an exciting time, man. It was fun. But
Very.
yeah, they're good people, and makes me happy that what they're doing for local bands like us and stuff.
Yeah, they help us out a lot.
Well, if you go way back on my channel, I reviewed Delirium. I don't know. I guess that was a couple of years ago now.
Probably when it first came out. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember watching that too. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you for the
Um,
kind words, by the way.
Yeah,
Appreciate it.
no problem. So I guess one more major thing to talk about here. I want to talk about touring. I want to talk about you guys playing live. Is that something you really love to do? You're happy to get back to doing that?
Eventually, yeah. We got no plans right now, but I think we're gonna try and set up some tours maybe after we release the third album. We have something to kind of promote the album that way. Yeah, maybe in the new year after the album comes out.
After everything kind of like started like going back to normal in a way, we kind of just made the decision that we wanted to come back strong and properly instead of
Trying and failing. So
yeah,
we're just
trying
doing that.
and failing cancellation after cancellation. So, we kind of made sure that everything's set in stone with the way the world is right now.
Yeah.
But with that being said, I think that a local show isn't out of the question anytime soon. But we haven't played a show together in what, 2 years?
2 years.
2 years now.
January 2020.
So, and like I just told you, we've been writing this record for now 2 years, and we haven't really played a set list or anything. So we'd have to knock the dust off. That's for sure.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
it's definitely been like a slower progress or process. Yeah,
Yeah.
with like playing shows and
But I think when
writing.
when we come back, the first local show, it's going to be a sellout.
Well, I was
genuinely-
going to say, I know you guys have a really loyal following, because reading the comments online on like Instagram and places like that, everybody's like, when are you going to play? When are you going to play? We want to see a show. So everybody's really
been
excited. I
feeling-
think.
We've been feeling the heat from those comments, man.
Yeah, and the itch is there for sure to get back out there. We're like you said, we're just at this point in time, we're really stoked to get this record done.
Yeah,
And
it's
so we're just really in that zone right now.
full
And,
album mode, man. Because like
yeah.
we, in my opinion, we kind of got robbed of something when the pandemic. Like a lot of people. I'm not going to sit here and cry about everything.
Well,
but
yeah, we had good momentum going for us, and
Yeah.
then the world turned upside down. So it takes a toll on you, right?
Yeah,
And-
Killed a little bit of momentum, but
Yeah.
we're getting the gears turning again now.
greasing up the
Which is
wheels
good,
again.
yeah, that's right.
I think everybody will be excited for the tour, for the album. I know I am personally. I think you've got a lot of fans out there also who are going to be right there to jump back on top whenever that stuff starts happening for you.
We
think-
certainly hope so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's going to be fun. And fucking absolutely destroy the crowd when we come back. Make them kill each other.
But love each other also.
Yeah, peace, love, prosperity, but also
Peace,
death.
love, and metal.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, I hope that when you do get back on the road eventually, maybe you make your way down here to the States at some point. I'm over in Pennsylvania.
Oh shit.
Oh yeah, at
Nice.
least, yeah.
Yeah. So
that would be a pretty good journey.
Honestly, like with the, like the States would be a lot more ideal to tour for a band like of our stature, because Canada, as much as it's our home nation and we love it, but like it is fucking big, man. Like it's huge. So like 13 hours between cities, like, it takes a toll on you. Whereas like
Oh yeah, it's a lot of travel time.
4 or 5 hours
Tour
between
Canada.
cities down in Midwest, the
Yeah.
mid US or whatever, and you're getting a little bit of draw down in the States as opposed to up here in Canada as well.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
just,
population is more condensed, so it's easier
Yeah.
to hit more people in shorter distances. So yeah, we're definitely that'd be a real good move for us at this point. We have the following, we know that, so we
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
gotta give the people what they want.
cool. Well, is there anything I forgot to ask that you really want to talk about here before we get going tonight?
Oh geez, I don't know.
I got nothing, man. I can't think of
Nothing.
anything. I think you nailed all the points on the head. We got no like infomercials to stick in at the end. Oh wait, no, I do actually. Buy our album, listen to it, stream it, do whatever you want. Just listen to it. Let us know what you think. If you like it, if you don't like it, then go find another band, I guess.
Or
Good. Well,
find
guys,
listen to Hazzerd.
Yeah, do that.
I really appreciate you guys getting on here and talking to me. Hopefully lots of folks watch this, and if you're watching this video out there now, or when I post it up, that would be technically now when you watch it.
Right now.
Yeah, do what they
Inception,
said,
man.
man. It's a Delirium's a great album. Go listen to that and listen to all of it, man. That's it's good stuff. It's good thrash. And thank you guys again so much for talking to me. Had a great time, learned a lot about Hazzerd, and good luck with the process, and hopefully that all comes together really well for you guys.
Thank you, man. I really appreciate you taking the time out of your night to interview 4 ugly dudes with long and short hair.
Yeah, it was just a thrill talking to you, man. Yeah.
Yep, I appreciate it. All right, guys.
Peace, YouTube, internet land.
Peace from Hazzerd.
It's always the end of the interview where they're stopping the cameras for